Archangel Michael is warning. A demon in human form is close to you. Their name was just revealed in heaven. Open this message now. Open this message now. The heavens have just spoken. Hear the sound of the eternal scroll being unsealed. Hear the voice that does not tremble, for this is not the word of men, but of heaven itself. In the silence of the midnight watch, in the hour when shadows cling and the world slumbers, a revelation was declared before the throne of the Most High. In that hour, I, Michael, commander of the armies of heaven, stood in holy presence, lifted my sword of flame, and declared the name of one cloaked in deception, a demon wearing the mask of flesh, walking dangerously near to the chosen of the Lord. This message does not come to every ear, for not every ear is tuned to heaven's whisper. It comes to you, the one set apart, the one watched over by unseen guardians, the one whom destiny marks with eternal ink. You are not abandoned. You are not unnoticed. You are not wandering blindly through the wilderness. The heavens have seen, the heavens have spoken, and the heavens have revealed. This revelation is a warning sealed with divine urgency, because the days ahead hold both threat and promise. The threat lies in proximity. One near you wears a smile, but plots betrayal. The promise lies in protection. If you hear, if you obey, if you align, you will not be shaken. The name has been spoken in heaven, and though it is heavy, though it is sacred, though it is not yet released upon your lips, know this: God reveals only what He intends to shield you from. This is not idle knowledge. This is not passing curiosity. This is survival wrapped in divine mercy. But to receive it, you must still yourself. You must bow your head in humility. You must breathe and silence the noise of the world, for holy things cannot be grasped by restless hands or distracted hearts. Heaven speaks only to those postured to listen. What follows now is not for entertainment, but for preparation. What follows is both sword and shield. Prophetic warning will be unveiled, discernment will be sharpened, and the posture of your spirit will be tested. Listen closely, for the hour is short, the stakes are eternal, and heaven itself leans near to ensure you are not deceived. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. By the voice of Michael, I call heaven's attention to you now. Before the cock crows, before the sun breaks the horizon, before the first noise of the morning shatters the silence, I come with a message sealed in urgency and weight. This is not a dream. This is not a fleeting thought. This is a divine interruption, a holy arresting of your spirit. Heaven has paused to speak directly into your life, and the words you now hear will pierce through every veil of confusion. I, Michael, commander of the heavenly host, have been sent to draw near to you, not with gentle whisper alone, but with the flash of light that blinds the enemy, with the scent of incense that purges the air, with the clang of drawn steel that declares, the battle has already begun. When heaven opens its scrolls, the earth must listen, and when a name is revealed in the throne room, no deception can cover it again. This moment is not ordinary, it is holy. It is an hour of divine unveiling, and it concerns you. A name has been spoken. Do you feel the chill that presses against your chest? Do you sense the weight in your spirit that words cannot explain? That is the witness of heaven pressing against your flesh, reminding you that this message is not from man, but from the throne of the Almighty. A demon in human form walks dangerously close, and their mask is slipping. Yet, heaven has already named them in the unseen, and that name carries both judgment and exposure. You are not abandoned to guesswork. You are being invited into holy discernment. This message is selective. Not every ear can hear it. Not every spirit can endure it. It is for those who are tethered to destiny, those whose lives cannot be wasted in ignorance, those who are marked for greater things. That is why you feel the pressing urgency in your spirit right now. That is why your body tightens and your breath quickens, for something otherworldly is happening in this very moment. It is not fear you feel. It is holy trembling, the weight of divine visitation. Be still now. Silence the racing of your mind. Bow your head, breathe deeply, and let your spirit prepare itself. What is being unsealed is not to be treated with casual thought. This is revelation for warriors, not wanderers. This is discernment for the anointed, not distraction for the curious. In this silence, heaven leans close. In this hush, you are being drawn into the secret chambers of divine counsel. Guard your heart. Do not speak recklessly. Do not share what you are about to hear with careless lips. The enemy is cunning, and to expose too soon is to invite a strike before heaven's timing. Instead, hold fast. Write in secret. Pray in silence. Discern with discipline. You are not receiving this to boast, but to prepare. You are not receiving this to gossip, but to guard. And now, I charge you, ready yourself. Enter prayer. Enter stillness. Enter reverence. For heaven has chosen to reveal to you what many will never see. The battle draws near, but you are not without shield, not without sword, and not without command from on high. Stand, for the revelation is upon you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is now surrounding you. There are watchers in the shadows. Not all who stand beside you stand with you. Some smile, but their hearts carry whispers of malice. Some lean in with words of comfort, but their eyes dart with calculation. You have felt it, though you could not explain it. The sudden silences when you enter a room, the half-formed sentences that fade into awkward laughter, the conversations that never reach your ears, but were crafted to circle around your name. This is no coincidence. This is not your imagination. It is the stirring of betrayal concealed behind familiar faces. The heavens have revealed that deception is near. And when heaven reveals, it is not to torment you with suspicion, but to awaken you with clarity. A demon in human form hides among the trusted, using the mask of friendship, counsel, or even love to step into your space. Their tactics are subtle, so subtle that without the warning of heaven, you would dismiss it as nothing more than overthinking. Yet the spirit within you already knows. That tightening in your chest, that unease in your sleep, that wave of exhaustion that sweeps over you after certain encounters, these are signals from your soul. The body may not discern it, but the spirit does. Betrayal often begins quietly. Favors once freely given turn into subtle debts. Words once gentle grow sharp with hidden accusation. A friend's encouragement suddenly doubles back into undermining counsel. A lover's touch shifts, cools, carries a distance you cannot name. A coworker mirrors your steps too closely, not in admiration, but in mimicry that prepares to replace you. The signs are not dramatic, but they are steady, consistent, sharpening like a knife, hidden beneath the cloak. And heaven has chosen this moment to bring it to light so that you will not be blindsided. Your dreams have already whispered fragments of this truth. Strange visions of pursuit, of shadows behind you, of doors closing just before you arrive. These are not random. They are spiritual alarms. The fatigue that comes from nowhere, the restlessness in your prayer, the heavy fog that dulls your clarity, all of it is the mark of a demonic presence working to wear you down before its unveiling. But hear me now. You are not helpless. You are not blind. The revelation of heaven has already gone forth, and what was concealed will soon be exposed. Do not rush into accusation. Do not wield your tongue as a weapon against those around you. Heaven has not called you to gossip. Heaven has called you to guard. Write what you notice. Record the odd patterns. Keep silent notes, not public declarations. Discernment is not wild suspicion. Discernment is disciplined awareness. The secret is not to name before time, but to prepare your heart so that when the unveiling comes, you stand ready, not shaken. This disruption you feel in your emotions is not chaos. It is a divine alarm clock, shaking you awake, forcing you to lift your eyes, training your spirit to be alert. Without this unease, you would walk too freely, too openly, too carelessly. But with it, you are aligned to watch, to listen, to wait. Heaven does not disturb without purpose. Heaven disturbs to protect, to guide, and to ready you for the confrontation that is drawing near. So now, hold still. Do not panic. Do not despair. The shadows only seem powerful until heaven lights them. The mask only deceives until heaven tears it away. You are not alone in this unveiling. Your watchers are angels, and their eyes do not close. Type "I am guarded" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1777 is now active in your life. And beloved, if this word has pierced your spirit, know this. Our mission is not to spread fear, but to awaken souls into light. Every seed sown into this ministry is not a donation. It is a weapon placed into the hands of heaven, enabling us to carry these revelations into more lives. The Word of God says, "He who sows to the Spirit will reap eternal life." When you give, you are not just helping a channel. You are fueling the fire of deliverance for those still walking in darkness. I invite you now, rise into action. Support this mission through super thanks, through becoming a channel member, or through a gift on PayPal. The link is in the description. Your giving is a prophetic act, and as you release it, may rivers of restoration flow back to you. Do not delay. Do not wait. Step into this divine moment, sow, and watch heaven multiply it back into your life. Hear me now, for what you face is not ordinary strife. This is not mere misunderstanding, not simple human jealousy, not the passing drama of daily life. What presses against you, what plots around you, what shadows your peace, is part of a larger spiritual war. You are not being attacked because of weakness, but because of strength. You are not being hunted because you are forgotten, but because you are chosen. The kingdom of darkness does not waste its energy on those without assignment. It targets those whose lives carry weight in eternity. You, child of light, carry such a weight, and that is why the eyes of the adversary have turned toward you. I, Michael, commander of heaven's armies, stand in the throne room as witness to this reality. Heaven has observed the movements of deception. The host of angels has recorded the whispers of those who plot. Every shadow cast against you has been seen in the eternal court, and I tell you this now. It is not by accident. It is not by chance. It is warfare, targeted and strategic, designed to shake you from your path. But in this warfare, you are not left without covering. Heaven recognizes the weight you carry, and that is why heaven has dispatched this word to awaken your discernment. Understand this. Chosen ones always draw battle. Joseph's dreams drew envy. David's anointing drew spears. Esther's position drew conspiracies. Jesus himself drew betrayal from one who sat at his table. You're walking in the same line of destiny. The attempt against you is proof that your steps are ordered, not wasted. Do not confuse the presence of opposition with the absence of God. Opposition is often the clearest confirmation of divine assignment. But know this as well. How you respond determines whether heaven fights on your behalf or whether you give the enemy a foothold. If you lash out in anger, if you retaliate with fleshly words, if you scatter accusations without wisdom, you hand the adversary the victory. But if you anchor yourself in silence, if you fall to your knees in prayer, if you raise the shield of Scripture and the sword of declaration, then heaven's strategy will unfold with precision. You will not need to strike first, you will only need to endure. For the battle belongs to the Lord, and his armies move at his command. The enemy wears masks of flesh, disguises itself in human form, but behind the eyes of the deceiver is a spirit that trembles at the sound of God's name. You are not fighting them. You are fighting the power that works through them. Principalities, veils, deceptions, spirits that cloak themselves in human personality but are stripped bare before the throne of the Almighty. That is why your strength cannot rest in the flesh. It must be spiritual. It must be prayer, fasting, Scripture, and obedience. Set boundaries in wisdom. Speak the promises of God aloud, for the spoken word is a shield that the adversary cannot cross. Memorize the scriptures of protection and let them drip from your lips in the night watch. When you call upon heaven, know this: you are not unheard. You are not unprotected. Heaven is watching, saints are interceding, and your name is written before the Most High. Do not let pride deceive you into thinking this is your battle alone. Humble yourself and stay vigilant. For spiritual maturity is measured not by how loudly you fight, but by how steadily you endure, anchored in the Lord's strength. The test is not only to see if you will survive, it is to see if you will trust. And I tell you now, if you trust, you will endure. If you endure, you will overcome. And if you overcome, what the enemy meant for destruction will be turned into your elevation. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2299 is now active over you. Hear me, beloved, for the hour of concealment is closing. The mask that has covered the deceiver's face will not last much longer. Heaven has declared that within a set time, A shift will manifest. A confrontation, a reveal, or an accusation that will leave no doubt about the one who plots in secret. This is not vague. This is not indefinite. The word has come forth. Within 72 hours of this message reaching your ears, a stirring will occur that makes the hidden tremble and the exposed impossible to ignore. You may not yet know the face behind the mask, but the days will bring movement, and the schemes in the shadows will push themselves into the light. You will recognize the escalation. Suddenly, whispers will multiply around you. You will sense the gathering of small, secret meetings where your name is weighed like a coin upon dishonest scales. You will notice sudden shifts in behavior. Someone who once lingered in your presence now grows distant. Someone who once spoke freely now guards their words. Someone who once encouraged now plants seeds of doubt. Be watchful. Do not dismiss these as ordinary mood swings. The Spirit will prick your heart to know when the air changes, when the atmosphere thickens, when the enemy stirs unease with purpose. There will be signs. For some, it may come through documents suddenly surfacing, contracts, records, or accusations formed not from truth, but from envy. For others, it may appear in sudden departures or betrayals, a breaking of trust at the very moment you need loyalty most. It may even come cloaked in the noise of social voices, words scattered like arrows across platforms meant to tarnish your name. Whatever form it takes, understand this. The escalation is not random. It is the ripple of a spiritual storm breaking into your natural world. And yet, do not panic. Do not surrender your peace to fear. For if heaven has spoken the time for him, heaven has already established the protection. The pressure will mount. You may feel it in your body as restless nights, interrupted dreams, or even a sudden tightening in your spirit. You may feel righteous anger rising, an urge to strike back before the time. Resist it. For the Lord declares that vengeance belongs to him. If you act in haste, you step into the battlefield uncovered. But if you remain still, if you clothe yourself in prayer, if you surround your life with declarations of faith, heaven itself will confront what you cannot. Take the defensive posture heaven requires: stillness, prayer, silence, and discernment. Keep your circle small, limit your words, and do not scatter suspicion in the wind. Heaven has its own timing, and when the appointed hour comes, the mask will tear without your hand having to move. Let your posture be that of one armored, not frantic. For a soldier who waits on heaven's command never misses the victory. So hear this charge. The next 3 days will carry weight. Watch. Pray. Do not yield your ground. Do not allow the enemy's pressure to steal your clarity. What is stirring is real, but so is your covering. Remain aligned, and when heaven moves, you will stand untouched in the aftermath. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3030 is now covering you. Be still now, for heaven fights when you do not. The enemy thrives on noise, on chaos, on your frantic reaction. But heaven's victories are secured in silence and stillness, where your obedience becomes a shield and your trust becomes a fortress. Do not be deceived into thinking your strength is found in endless striving. Your strength is found in surrender. When you quiet the storm within, the armies of the Most High take position around you. When you withdraw from the chaos of voices, the sound of heaven grows louder in your spirit. In this hour, Your protection does not lie in striking first, but in guarding your space. Step back into stillness and seek clarity from the throne. Find a quiet place, away from the chatter of men, and lift your heart in prayer. For 24, 48, or even 72 hours, let your attention be sharpened through worship, through fasting, through scripture that seals your spirit. In these sacred hours, you will hear what others cannot. You will perceive what others miss. And the strategy of heaven will not only surround you, but flow through you. Guard your words. Speak not to defend yourself, but to declare truth. For the word of the Lord is a sword, and when you proclaim, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper," you release a decree into the atmosphere that angels are bound to enforce. Do not underestimate the power of spoken faith. When you speak, heaven listens. When you declare, darkness trembles. Let short, firm declarations rise from your lips, for they are stronger than 1,000 anxious explanations. Guard your boundaries. Step away from conversations laced with confusion. Create distance between yourself and those who drain your clarity. Place space between you and the ones whose presence unsettles your spirit. For this is not cruelty, it is wisdom. Silence is a tactic of war. Refusal to gossip is not weakness. It is strength. The one who waits in silence denies the enemy fuel for their schemes. Call on me, Michael, for protection, and know that the sword of light stands drawn over your dwelling. Visualize it in your spirit, a wall of fire encircling your life, no shadow permitted to pass. See the angels of the Lord stationed at your door, their wings ablaze with holy flame. When you pray, heaven dispatches. When you worship, heaven encamps. When you remain still, the battle rages in the unseen, and you need not lift a hand to see victory unfold. Even in the natural, guard yourself with wisdom. Secure what matters, your documents, your communications, your pathways. Do not walk unaware, but do not walk in fear either. Fear cripples, but vigilance strengthens. Write what you notice in secret. Keep your discernment sharp, but your mouth closed until heaven gives release. And when restlessness rises in your chest, breathe. Inhale the peace of God. Exhale the weight of anxiety. Pray short prayers that calm your spirit. Give thanks in whispers, for gratitude breaks fear's grip. Let the still small voice guide you, not the loud clamor of suspicion. For the one who listens deeply will hear the soft instructions that prepare the way. Above all, trust this: you are not abandoned. The name of the deceiver has already been revealed in heaven. The battle has already been acknowledged in the courts above. Resources have already been dispatched on your behalf. You walk not in uncertainty, but in alignment with divine strategy. Be still, for the Lord fights for you, and no shadow can overthrow what heaven has secured. Type "I am covered" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4141 is now surrounding your household. You have heard the warnings. You have felt the pressure. You have endured the unease. But now the voice of heaven speaks to shift you from trembling to standing, from being shaken to being established. Hear this clearly: you are not weak. You are not forgot. You are not merely surviving an attack. You are being forged by it. The fire that pressed against you was not sent to destroy you, but to shape you. The enemy hoped to unravel you, but heaven has used the same storm to strengthen you. You are rising from fear into power. The deception around you has forced your eyes open. The betrayal that whispered in the dark has sharpened your discernment. The anxiety that tried to choke your breath has actually stirred your prayer life into new intensity. What was meant to silence you has burst a deeper voice within you. This is the paradox of heaven. Every strike of the enemy becomes the hammer that forges the chosen into unbreakable steel. Every tear you shed watered the soil of your future harvests. Every sleepless night became the midnight hour in which heaven whispered strategy into your spirit. You are not broken. You are being built. Now rise into your true identity. You are not who they think you are. You are not bound by the false narrative whispered against you. You are not trapped by their opinions or their plots. You are a vessel of divine authority, chosen for this moment, appointed for this season. Just as fire cannot consume gold, but only purifies it, so this trial is burning away the excess, leaving only the core of who you truly are. And that core is radiant with power. Begin to reclaim your voice. When you pray, do not whisper timidly, declare boldly. When you walk, do not shuffle in doubt. Step firmly in confidence. Begin to set boundaries that honor your worth. Begin to say no to what drains you, and yes to what aligns with your calling. This is not arrogance. It is authority. This is not rebellion. It is spiritual dignity. You are called to rise, not to crawl. Imagine yourself as the soldier who plants their feet in the battlefield, refusing to retreat. Imagine yourself as the eagle who rises above the storm, soaring while the winds roar below. Imagine yourself as the prophet who speaks truth in calm strength, unmoved by the noise of opposition. This is who you are becoming, not a victim of circumstance, but a warrior of destiny. Your empowerment is not only for survival, it is for transformation. Every confrontation will refine your clarity. Every betrayal will deepen your wisdom. Every disruption will position you closer to your destiny. You are not losing. You are advancing. The very presence of opposition proves that you carry something worth attacking. And if it is worth attacking, it is worth protecting. So hear me. The fear that once crippled you must break now. The lies that once bound you must scatter now. The heaviness that once smothered you must lift now. You are stepping out of fear and into power, out of trembling and into authority. Stand. Speak. Declare. Rise. You are not who you were yesterday. You are who heaven has declared today. Type "I am empowered" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 5151 is now releasing strength into your spirit. Hear me now, for the Spirit speaks with clarity. What you have endured is not meaningless. What you have suffered is not wasted. The enemy has risen against you, yes, but heaven has allowed this season not for your destruction, but for your unlocking. Do you not see it? This disruption is the doorway to your next elevation. This betrayal is the threshing floor where destiny is separated from distraction. The fire that pressed you is the refiner's fire, and though it seared, it has prepared you for the gold that now gleams beneath the ash. The trials were not punishment, They were purification. The hidden watchers that stirred against you forced your discernment to sharpen. The unease in your dreams forced you to draw nearer to the throne. The sudden betrayal stripped away false alliances so that only truth would remain. And now, heaven declares, this is your season of revealing. The very fact that the deceiver's name was spoken in the courts of heaven means the case has already shifted in your favor. The scroll was opened, the truth was declared, and the legal ground of the adversary is collapsing. What was hidden cannot remain hidden. What was stolen must be returned. What was delayed must now be released. Listen closely. This is why you were targeted. The adversary saw what you carry. The enemy discerned the fragrance of your destiny and trembled. That is why the attack was so close, so personal, so relentless. But what they meant for harm, the Lord has turned into preparation. This is not just survival. This is transformation. Heaven is not simply protecting you. Heaven is positioning you. The battle was not about where you are. It was about where you are going. Watch for the signs that heaven will send to confirm this word. Dreams of keys placed in your hand, visions of doors swinging open, sudden invitations that feel like divine alignments. You may even notice reconciliations that bear unexpected fruit, as heaven restores relationships stripped of deception and strengthens the ones built on truth. These are not accidents. They are prophetic markers, signaling that the trial has shifted into triumph. And hear this assurance: your name is not forgotten in heaven. Just as the deceiver's name was revealed for judgment, your name has been spoken for blessing. You are known, recorded, sealed in the presence of the Almighty. Interventions are already unfolding. Paths are already clearing. The fire you endured was not the end. It was the beginning of a greater assignment. So now, step into this revelation. Do not mourn the loss of what was stripped away. Rejoice, for what is being birthed carries far greater weight. This is your unlocking. This is your refining. This is your appointed hour. Type "I am unlocked" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 8181 is now loosed over your destiny. Beloved, if this revelation has opened your spirit, hear this. Every word spoken here is part of heaven's mission to awaken and protect souls. When you support this ministry, you are not simply helping a channel. You are sowing seed into the soil of eternal impact. The word declares, "He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." Your giving becomes light in another's darkness, oil poured on the weary, manna for those starving for truth. I invite you now. Rise in obedience. Join this mission through super thanks, through becoming a channel member, or by sowing through PayPal. The link is in the description below. Your gift is not just generosity, it is prophecy in motion. As you release, open heavens will surround your life, and blessings will pour back in multiplied form. Step into this moment now. The hour has come for you not only to see, but to act, not only to discern, but to declare, not only to endure, but to advance. Heaven has shaken you awake. Heaven has revealed the threat. Heaven has refined your spirit. And now heaven waits for your response. This is not the time to shrink back. This is not the time to linger in uncertainty. This is the time to rise into action. Destiny is not passive. It demands a yes, It demands obedience. It demands visible steps that align your spirit with the eternal blueprint written over your life. The word has gone forth. You are chosen. But now the choice rests with you. Will you live as chosen, or will you let the shadows convince you otherwise? Will you lift your voice in declarations that shift the atmosphere, or will you remain silent under the weight of intimidation? Heaven does not move on indecision. Heaven moves when obedience meets revelation. That is why now you must activate what has been spoken. You must become the living agreement to the word declared over you. Begin each morning not in worry, but in declaration. As the sun rises, let your lips release words that frame your day in power. Say aloud, I am sealed. I am protected. I am anointed. I walk in purpose. These are not empty phrases. They are decrees in the spirit realm, and angels move to enforce them. With each declaration, chains weaken, shadows scatter, and your path clears. This is how the chosen live, not under the weight of the adversary, but under the authority of heaven. Take action that reaffirms your calling. A seed of service, an act of obedience, a step that says, I belong to heaven, and heaven belongs to me. It may be a gift of kindness to one in need, a sacrifice of time laid upon the altar of prayer, or the courage to share your testimony even when your voice shakes. Each action is a covenantal vow, a visible sign that you are aligned with the throne. These are not small things. They are holy markers that heaven records as obedience. Guard your destiny with boundaries. Say no to the distractions that steal your focus. Say no to the alliances that dilute your strength. Say no to the subtle compromises that chip away at your clarity. Every no you speak in wisdom is also a yes to the greater purpose over your life. The path of destiny is narrow, but it is holy, and those who walk it with discipline reap the favor that others only dream of. Do not walk alone. Align with one who carries maturity in the spirit, a trusted elder, a watchful intercessor, someone who can hold you accountable as you walk this journey. For even the strongest warrior needs a shield bearer beside them. Do not confuse secrecy with isolation. Discernment knows when to speak, and wisdom knows whom to trust. Heaven has revealed the name of the enemy, but now heaven calls for your name to echo back in agreement. Say yes. Act yes. Live yes. This is your hour of activation. The adversary struck to silence you, but instead, it has pushed you into obedience. Now, let the world see the mark of one who is not shaken, one who is not broken, one who is not defeated. Rise into action. Heaven waits for your yes. Type I am activated in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9229 is now igniting your destiny. Beloved, while you wait, heaven works. While you sleep, heaven moves. While your tears fall, they are not wasted on the earth. They are gathered in bowls of remembrance before the throne of God. There is a silent exchange happening even now. A transaction in the spirit realm that cannot be seen by human eyes, but is as real as the air you breathe. It is the unseen economy of heaven, where what was stolen from you is being cataloged, counted, and prepared for restoration. Every injustice you suffered, every betrayal that cut into your soul, every scheme that rose against you has been recorded in the eternal ledger. Nothing is lost, nothing forgotten, nothing overlooked. I, Michael, testify before you. Angels are moving in your favor. They carry scrolls of remembrance, listing the wrongs committed, the tears shed, the prayers whispered in secret. They move with holy speed, balancing scales that men cannot balance, canceling debts that were forged in shadows, restoring titles and blessings that the enemy thought were buried. This is not imagination. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine order unfolding in silence. You may not see it in your hands yet, but it is already shifting in your atmosphere. Picture it in your spirit, a throne room where ledgers are laid open, where your name is inscribed, where every attempt of the adversary is measured against the blood of the Lamb and found powerless. Angels are dispatched with what was taken, carrying back your peace, carrying back your opportunities, carrying back the honor that was dragged through mud. While men think they have triumphed over you, heaven is already turning the case. What the deceiver touched now becomes the very thing that testifies against them. What they stole becomes the seed of your sevenfold restoration. Do not mistake silence for inactivity. The stillness you are in is strategic. Heaven does not reveal every move because heaven's moves are too great to be disrupted. If you knew the full detail, you might run ahead, speak too soon, or strike before the appointed time. That is why heaven calls you stillness, so that the silent exchange can complete without interference. Trust the unseen process. Trust the God who neither slumbers nor sleeps. When you close your eyes at night, imagine the exchange. See angels moving across the heavens with speed, carrying treasures, unlocking doors, shifting atmospheres. See the fire of heaven sealing your name and protection. See the fragrance of your worship rising as an offering that tips the scales in your favor. Nothing you have given, nothing you have endured, nothing you have prayed has been wasted. All of it has been gathered, all of it has been weighed, and all of it is now being returned in multiplied form. So rest. Rest not in ignorance, but in confidence. Rest knowing that the silent realm is alive with motion. Rest because you are surrounded by more than you can count. Armies of light moving with your name on their lips. While the enemy plots in shadows, heaven is negotiating in glory. And when the transaction completes, you will see it break forth in the natural. Doors will open, blessings will flow, restoration will pour, and no one will be able to deny that the hand of the Lord has moved for you. Type "I am restored" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1001 is now completing the heavenly exchange in your favor. Now hear the decree of heaven. The scales are being balanced, the accounts are being settled, and what the enemy meant for destruction is being reversed. This is the law of divine justice. What was done against you will not remain standing, and what was withheld from you will return multiplied. The adversary thought their strike would leave you broken, but the very act has become the evidence heaven uses to elevate you. I, Michael, declare before you that divine reversal has begun, and the same hands that lifted weapons against you will soon tremble as they watch your restoration unfold. For every tear, there will be laughter. For every betrayal, there will be loyalty restored. For every door slammed shut, heaven will open 3 more in its place. This is not poetic comfort. This is spiritual law. The Lord himself has declared, "I will repay." And repayment is never equal. It is abundant, overflowing, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. What they thought was lost to you has only been delayed, rerouted, and preserved for a greater unveiling. You will not end in deficit. You will walk in surplus. Watch how divine justice manifests, for it will often appear in ways that men cannot explain. One who opposed you may find themselves stumbling while you ascend. A place that rejected you may suddenly send word calling you back, not in arrogance, but in apology. Opportunities thought long gone may resurface, wrapped in favor that makes no earthly sense. Debts may vanish, accusations may dissolve, doors may swing open without human permission. This is the reversal of heaven. It humbles the proud and exalts the faithful. Yet I charge you, do not gloat. Do not let vengeance sour your spirit. Justice belongs to God, and when it falls, it must be received with dignity. The enemy's fall is not your feast. It is your vindication. Let your eyes remain fixed on the Lord, not on the crumbling of those who sought your downfall. For your restoration is not about them. It is about you and about the glory of God shining through your life. Speak these words aloud as your decree. What was meant for evil has turned for good. What was delayed is released. What was stolen is restored. What was hidden is revealed. I stand in the reversal of the Lord. When you speak this, you are not merely repeating phrases. You are sealing a verdict. Your mouth aligns with heaven's judgment, and angels move to enforce the reversal written in your favor. Take note of even the smallest signs, for they are prophetic markers. A sudden apology, a closed account settled, a small favor unexpectedly granted. These are the first fruits of a greater harvest. Rejoice not only when the great reversal comes, but also when the small ripples appear, for they are proof that the tide has shifted. Heaven does not reverse partially. Once the process begins, it continues until every wrong is addressed and every right restored. So lift your head high. You are not walking into defeat, but into divine justice. You are not emerging from ashes empty-handed. You are stepping out with double portion. What the deceiver set in motion has already collapsed, and now the wind of reversal carries you into restoration. This is your inheritance, sealed in blood, decreed in heaven, and unfolding in your very life. Type "I am restored" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7474 is now executing reversal over your life. Beloved, the word has gone forth, and it cannot return void. Heaven has revealed the deceiver. Heaven has sounded the alarm. Heaven has given you strategy and covering. And now heaven declares, you are sealed, you are seen, you are sent. What you have walked through was not random, it was preparation. The betrayal you endured was not meaningless. It was the stage for your vindication. The fire you felt was not to consume you. It was to refine you until you stood radiant with unshakable faith. Now I, Michael, release this blessing over you. May the shield of the Most High encircle you. May the sword of light guard your steps. May the peace of God fill your dwelling, and may the oil of joy replace every tear you have shed. You are not the same as you were before this word. You are stronger. You are clearer. You are empowered. Walk now with your head lifted, knowing the battle has already turned in your favor. Declare this daily: I am chosen. I'm protected. I'm anointed. I'm advancing. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me shall fall. Speak it until the walls around you echo it. Speak it until your atmosphere shifts. Speak it until your spirit burns with certainty. For this is not just affirmation. It is your covenant with heaven, sealed by your obedience. Go in peace now. The threat has been named. The protection has been loosed. The reversal has been decreed. You are not walking into confusion. You are walking into clarity. You are not walking into loss. You are walking into restoration. You are not walking alone. You are walking under the watchful eyes of heaven's armies. Rise, for your season of shaking has ended, and your season of glory has begun. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you received this message. Blessing code 9999 now rests upon you. Beloved, before we close, hear this. The word you've received today is not just for you. It is part of a greater mission, to awaken multitudes, to pull others from deception, to break chains with the voice of heaven. When you stand with us, you are not funding a platform. You are fueling a movement of light in a darkened world. The Lord says, "Those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy." Your gift becomes a holy seed, birthing deliverance in lives you may never see. I invite you now, rise into this prophetic moment. Support through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through PayPal using the link in the description. As you give, heaven records it as worship, and rivers of blessing will be loosed upon your household. Do not delay. The soil is ready, the moment is holy, and your act of faith is a decree in itself.